What if the dragons, enchanted weapons, and weather-controlling warriors preserved in legend were distorted memories of a technology no one could explain? Tonight, we return to the age of the Yellow Emperor, the Flame Emperor, and Kaiyu, and to the Battle of Zhuolu, a conflict said to have changed the destiny of Chinese civilization. One warning: this ancient astronaut interpretation is speculation, not established history. The traditions were recorded long after the era they describe and often contradict one another. But read as coded memories, they suggest a disturbing possibility. The Flame Emperor, Yendi, was associated with fire, agriculture, and medicine. Later tradition connected him with Shenong, the divine farmer who taught humanity to grow grain and identify healing plants. In our speculative version, these gifts came from an ecological mission that altered crops, studied biology, and stabilized a young world. The Yellow Emperor, Huangdi, represented order, navigation, and political unity. Legends credit his age with the compass chariot, calendars, weapons, and government. Perhaps these were fragments of inherited knowledge. The dragons that carried rulers through the sky might then have been machines transformed into sacred imagery. And then came Kaiyu. Accounts describe him as the formidable leader of the Zhuolu tribes, with a bronze head, an iron forehead, multiple arms, and 81 brothers. These images may symbolize armored warriors and a tribal alliance. Through a science fiction lens, however, Kaiyu resembles a commander enhanced for war. Kaiyu was also a master of metalworking and weapons. In a world where bronze could decide the fate of nations, superior armor might have seemed supernatural. His 81 brothers could represent clans, commanders, or combat units beneath one banner. Legend first pits Kaiyu against the Flame Emperor. Defeated or displaced, Yendi then joined Huangdi. Rather than three equal empires colliding, the old narrative points to shifting alliances. Here, Yendi's agricultural network is overwhelmed, forcing him to share his knowledge with the Yellow Emperor. The final confrontation took place at Zhuolu. Kaiyu covered the battlefield in an impenetrable fog. Huangdi's soldiers lost direction, formations broke apart, panic spread. Ancient storytellers called it magic. A modern imagination might call it atmospheric warfare, an aerosol screen, electromagnetic interference, or a weapon designed to confuse both sight and navigation. To escape the fog, Huangdi's advisor Feng Hu supposedly created a south-pointing chariot. The device is documented much later, so its presence at Zhuolu is unproven. Yet in the legend, when every landmark vanished, Huangdi's army gained a guidance system that did not depend on the sky. Still, Kaiyu controlled the storm. Rain flooded the ground. Thunder rolled over the armies. Huangdi called upon Yinglong, the winged dragon associated with water, but even that power was not enough. Then the balance changed with the arrival of Nuba, the drought maiden. Wherever she appeared, clouds broke and the earth dried beneath a burning sky. Was this a poetic memory of unusual weather? A ritual battle between rain and drought deities? Or, in the darkest version of the mystery, were Yinglong and Nuba opposing climate systems, one releasing water, the other stripping moisture from the air? Huangdi also received help from Jiutian Xuanyu, the Dark Lady of the Nine Heavens and a celestial teacher of strategy. Imagine her as the name given to an intelligence system, a voice from above that mapped terrain, predicted Chiyo's movements, and turned chaos into a pattern. Then came the sound that ended the war. Legend says Huangdi fashioned a drum from the hide of the kuei, a one-legged thunder beast. Its roar shook the battlefield and broke Chiyo's forces. Ritual symbolism is the likeliest explanation, but to terrified witnesses, an acoustic weapon might have sounded like heaven itself. With the fog dispersed, the ground hardened, and his formations exposed, Kaiyu was defeated. Some traditions say he was executed and dismembered, others preserve him less as a monster than as a heroic ancestor and even a god of war. That contradiction is the final clue, not of aliens, but of history written by competing peoples. One culture's demon can be another culture's founder. The victors remembered Huangdi as a bringer of order. Agricultural communities continued to honor Yendi. Kaiyu survived in ritual, folklore, and regional identity, too powerful to disappear even after defeat. The three figures eventually became larger than human rulers. They became symbols of cultivation, civilization, and war. So was Zhuolu really an interstellar conflict? There is no archaeological evidence that proves it. The responsible answer is no, or at least, not as far as we know. Yet the myths preserve something real: fear of new weapons, or before natural forces, and the memory of alliances that may have united early communities through violence. Perhaps the technology was bronze. Perhaps the weather weapons were storms transformed by generations of storytelling. Perhaps the celestial teachers were brilliant strategists whose names became divine. Or perhaps, buried beneath thousands of years of retelling, one detail still waits to be understood. Because myths do not always preserve facts, but they often preserve the shape of an event too powerful to forget.